Hey, True Believers, Englentine here with another comic book showdown. Formerly Marvel vs. DC, but you know what? I added independent comics. You see the comic book covers passing before you. These are all of the books that I have read and reviewed. Now, they're simple reviews. All I want to do is tell you, did I like them, did I not like them, and why. If you want a more in-depth review, please just check out one of the actual review videos on the channel and make a request in the comments below. The ranking is pretty simple. 1 star is horrible, 2 star is bad, 3 star is average, 4 star is good, 5 star is excellent. Now, I don't have any 1 and 5 stars, but what I'm going to do is score them. We're bringing back the scores here because there's 10 independent, 10 Marvel, and 10 DC, and we're going to find out finally who it wins the week. Is it Marvel, DC, or the independents? I don't know. But you know what? Let's kick back, relax, and get this party started. All right, the 2-star books, they're bad. They could have been horrible, but there's just something to save them from that particular fate. The Immortal She-Hulk. VENKMAN and I did a full-length video of this, reviewing it, so it's on this channel. Check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. That being said, the short review is run away. This isn't a good book at all. Once again, go check out the video for an expansion of that particular thought, but the short version is, this book is crap. Okay, you know what? I always get them mixed up. This is Captain America 23. This is Peggy's time to shine. She's old, she's in armor, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna kick all sorts of butt, and then magically de-ages. That's it. I haven't liked Captain America, to tell you the truth, in 12, 13 years. I mention all the time we haven't seen him since he got shot in the head in Death of Captain America after the Civil War. And this is ringing true right now. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I guess that's the best I could say about this book. All right, so the trench attack in Aquaman number 63, we see Aqualad, the Young Justice Aqualad. It's not as cringe as issue number 62. There's a little bit more action. We still get to see the grandfather thing. The whole problem is there's a scene where the kid's absolutely wrong, but he goes, hey, from now on, I'm not going to listen to you. And the grandfather bit is like, oh, yes, you're right. You should go about and do it your... No, doing it his own way would have gotten him killed. He needs to listen. They're absolutely Mary suing him. And I don't know. I had a bad taste after reading this one. The 3-star books are average. It didn't either resonate with me one way or the other, or I liked them, but just not enough to recommend them. Immortal Hulk number 37, I'm approaching it as a new reader since I haven't read an issue in a long, long time, and I gotta tell you, it's kind of confusing. It looks interesting. The leader's doing some sort of mind thing. I heard about the doors of death and life from the Immortal She-Hulk. It seems kind of stupid, in all honesty. But I guess if you're following this, you're gonna like it. Me? I think it's a bit convoluted. Red Sonja, well, Mars Attacks Red Sonja number 2, and let's see, how can I explain this? I was trying to come up with a way to describe this book that has Red Sonja going across the land trying to figure out a way to defeat the Martians. Fun but inconsequential is the first thing that comes to mind. I watched it and like, okay, yeah, it's good, but ultimately forgettable. As a matter of fact, I remember that I pick up the book, but I forget what happens in the previous issue. Fantastic Four 24, there's a family get-together and Iceman shows up. And Johnny Storm's like, hey, what? Why are you showing up? So Iceman tells the tale of when Johnny quit the Fantastic Four and Iceman subbed for him and got the invitation that says, hey, you are part of the team, show up anytime you want. And of course, we all learn that it's because the Fantastic Four is more than just a team, they're family. It's okay during the flashbacks, but I gotta tell you, the framing device is pretty cheesy. Decent, but ultimately this is a forgettable book. So, how are you for adaptations? Because this is a straight-up adaptation of Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. I love the movie. I did a reveal of the other side of my room here, and everybody saw the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. I enjoy it, but the thing is, this doesn't really bring anything new to the table. So ultimately, I'd rather watch the movie. I like it when an adaptation brings something from the original script rather than what we saw on the screen. I wanted to like Thor #7. I do think it's funny to put the Tony Stark's phone number on Thor's hammer. But what's the enchantment? You know, it's that kind of thing. Also, it does sort of dilute the character of Thor. And I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm about to drop the title. I'm not a big fan of the direction it's been going in. I get it if other people are. I just wasn't thrilled with this issue. The same with the last 7. Deceased, Hope at World's End, Chapter 10. Look, overall, I enjoy the story, and I've been liking this. That being said, occasionally you get a chapter like number 10 here, while a whole bunch of stuff happens, it really doesn't hit you emotionally. You can't really attach yourself to the characters. I don't know why this happens. Maybe it's just who the characters are. It could just be my fault. But this one was good, but just forgettable. Now, while I'm enjoying Devil's Highway, this is issue number 3 of 5, I think it's really about time to start explaining things. They've set up mystery, and then set up mystery, and then set up mystery. This one kind of says maybe we're going to be going in that direction where we're actually going to be talking about the mysteries. But ultimately, okay, yeah, we don't know what's going on. That's good for the first issue if you're still being intriguing. But by issue 3, you need to start wrapping things up so we can have a good climax in issue number 5. Daredevil number 22 reminds me of something Eric Breen's saying, and I'm going to paraphrase here, where he says, basically, Marvel, given the chance, will disappoint you. And I've been touting Daredevil as being awesome, but there's a scene here where Daredevil tells Tony Stark to buy the city and then give all the housing away to the people because it's the right thing to do, where I was thinking Tony Stark should just give him the finger and walked out. Oh, and by the way, this look here, it's really stupid. I'm sorry, but that 90s belt hang thing with the jeans and all, any fighter worth his salt could use that against him. There's no way Daredevil would wear that. Injustice Year Zero number 6, we see the Joker controlling Green Lantern and having a good time of it too. There's actually a good twist to this, which isn't really a twist, like, oh my gosh, it's a surprise, but it's a surprise to Joker. It all starts off with the death of the Sandman, and so we actually get to see what happened to him. This is, you know, they start with the ending and then tell through the beginning. It's a really interesting and fun plot. Black Widow number 1 is by Kelly Thompson, and I wanted to point that out because I've heard a lot of good things about Kelly Thompson, and I've yet to see any of it. One of the things is she's horrible at writing girls and women. I mean, they say, oh, hey, look, let's show them being badasses just like the guys. Well, that's good. But the thing is those guys get put into situations where they're vulnerable. And that's part of the reason why we like it, is because they are able to overcome these vulnerabilities. Whenever they're put into a situation like that, we learn right away from this scene right here that Black Widow is tough. And throughout the issue, we learn that she's tough. And guess what? You know what? Black Widow's tough. That's all we get out of this. We do not get any character from her whatsoever. And it's par for the course as far as Marvel is concerned and their female characters. I think the funniest thing about Vampirella Trial of the Soul is the fact that the person who said he's going to kill her slept with her first. He says, oh, well, you know, I have to check to see if you have a soul so I know to kill you or not. But, you know, if you're giving it up, I'm going to take it. Now, it's a pretty good story. It's a kind of a one-shot that sets up future issues. It introduces a new villain, the whole 9 yards. Entertaining, but ultimately it didn't inspire me to get other books with Vampirella. Suicide Squad number 9. So they go after Max Lord, and lo and behold, there's Superman. I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing here. They're trying to replace old Suicide Squad with the new guys. That I don't know why they think we'd be more interested in them. I'm not going to reveal what happened, although this is a couple of weeks old. I got to say, I was like, all right, I saw this coming. I really did. With the introduction of Deadshot's daughter, I really saw this coming. Detective Comics 1027 is an anthology, therefore it's a mixed bag. Some are good, some are bad. I did enjoy the first couple of issues, couple of stories, but then all of a sudden and out of nowhere, oh my gosh, we get Riley Rosmo art. I couldn't finish it. I'm sorry. I like James Tynion. I think he's a decent storyteller, but Riley Rosmo art kills anything. Look at those robin legs. Just doesn't make sense. How's this guy keep getting work? The 4-star books are good, and I am happy to recommend these to you. So I gotta tell you, I do like Peter David's writing, and this is a good example of it. Maestro number 2 has really very little happening in it, but it is a character book. At least he does that. He gives us more character. Granted, it does have the Hulk traveling through the radioactive wasteland, and we heard about this in Future Imperfect, so we're just kind of seeing it now. But even though this is a slower moving issue of the story, like I said, we get character, and that's important. If you don't care about the person things are happening to, you just don't care about those things happening. So sometimes in order to get an extra stamp on this card we get at the comic shop, I'll pick up an extra book, and I always make it an independent number 1. This time it was Inkblot. No intention of originally picking this up, and I did. It's about a magical family. This young lady is the chronicler of the family. Basically, she doesn't do anything but just write down the exploits. And one day she goes to sleep, and through her own magic, brings to life a cat and opens a portal to other worlds. Go. I mean, that's basically it. It ended up being a damn fun book. I'm very happy I took a chance on it and grabbed it. If you want to do yourself a favor, you should too. Grendel, Kentucky, it's kind of familiar. It is a familiar story, but it's also familiar that I grew up with some of these people. I just, in my extended family, not my immediate family, but they're the bar-going types, and this is one of those stories where the patriarch dies, therefore everybody gets together and old crimes and old misdemeanors show up. It's actually told very well, even though it is a familiar story. At least it feels like something new is being brought to the table. Dead Day number 3. I've got to tell you something here, man. This was just a random pickup, and it's become one of my favorite miniseries that's out. The dead rise for one day, and you have people going off to meet their loved ones. In this case, this woman had kind of a checkered past before she got married and had kids, and her criminal boyfriend has come back to life. So she's gone back to him and fallen right back into that criminal life that she used to live with him. That's the main story of this particular issue, and it's kind of interesting to see. Ultimately, I'm wondering what the redemption will be, or if there will be any at all. And it's kind of cool. Marvel Zombies Resurrection. I kind of like this version than I did the last few of the Marvel Zombies that I read. They started going downhill after a couple of runs of them. This, on the other hand, it's kind of like it's basically deceased for Marvel, because Galactus brings the anti-life equation to the world, and that causes everybody to go nuts. Oh, Peter Parker is protecting the Richards kids. It's entertaining, don't get me wrong, but this is definitely a ripoff of DC's from DC Comics. Batman, the Joker War Zone, it's an anthology book, but there's no bad stories in it. As a matter of fact, my favorite is right out of the gate, where Joker is berating Bane for wasting the death of Alfred. And he actually threatens him. Someday I'm going to get you back for wasting the death of Alfred. You could have killed him. You could have made Batman suffer. He didn't. He just snapped it in front of Robin. I was surprised. This is a solid anthology book. Well, Batman number 99. It's about dang time things came to a head. And it's good to have Nightwing back in the Nightwing outfit. I like the fact that Batman presented it with it. Here you go. I thought you might like to dress in something more appropriate. The Joker War, I like it a little bit better now that things have fallen into place and you've kind of gotten the continuity. Thanks to little editorial boxes. That's all we need, guys. Just put it in. Okay, this happens before this and that and there. And that works, because it's actually kind of come into its own, and I've been enjoying each individual issue, but now I just enjoy the story overall as well. Batman 3 Jokers #2. Not as good as the first issue, but still strong. I think, though, it's time to really dig and answer some questions. What's going on? Why are there 3 Jokers? That kind of thing. Especially since I heard this was a 3-issue miniseries. It seems let's just ignore the fact that there's 3 Jokers and focus on what Joker did to Batman, Batgirl, and the Red Hood. This issue is the Red Hood. Good, but unfocused. Stillwater #1 by Chip Zdarsky. I have to admit I have a soft spot for creepy small town stories. Salem's Lot, that kind of thing, like what's going on, what's the big evil in this particular town, are they going to pick you for the neighborhood sacrifice, all sorts of stories that could go on, and this is one of those. Guy gets it all begins the same. Guy gets a message, he's got to go back to his hometown, and there's all sorts of things that want to kill him there. And this is just a lot of fun. The Unkindliest of Ravens kind of plays out like Mean Girls meets Strange Academy or any of these schools for the mystic. Basically, it's, in this case, the Mean Girls are witches. And they accept this new girl who, for some reason, looks exactly like a girl in a missing poster. And everybody's really curious about this. It's actually a pretty decent story. I didn't think I was going to like this because it's got a very slice of life kind of look to it. But in the end, it was all right. It's high school life, so I kind of roll my eyes a little bit. But still had fun with it. So I read Juggernaut #1, and then I had to close the book and look at the cover. I was amazed. It said Marvel on it, but it was a decent book. That wasn't called Daredevil. I could not believe it. Juggernaut is working for some sort of construction company, knocking down buildings. It makes perfect sense, actually, for who he is, except for, he should be in jail. But otherwise, this is a fun and fine book. I was very surprised. It does have him picking up somebody as their mentor, which I thought was kind of weird, but hey, if it works, right? Batgirl #49 is called The Many Deaths of Batgirl, and it mimics a Batman story from the 80s, Many Deaths of Batman. And so I was a little disappointed. I was thinking they're going the Marvel route and just repeating stories over and over. Thankfully, there's a twist in here, and there's a real story to it. In all honesty, I get surprised every time I read Batgirl, and I enjoy it because of Castellucci after she did the Femme Fury story. And it's amazing to me that I'm letting that horrible, horrible story cast a shadow over stuff like this. Batgirl has been consistently good since she's taken over, and I think it's time for me at least to accept that and not be surprised every time I read a book like this. Bad Mother #2. I gotta tell you, when I read the first issue, I liked it, but I was thinking, okay, it's a regular mom. What's she gonna be doing here? Is this gonna be like Taken? But in all honesty, yeah, it kind of is. Except for instead of having a super dad like Liam Neeson's character was in that movie, it is just a normal mom looking out for her cub, and it's just that much more intense. And this issue really ratchets it up, man. As much as I liked the first issue, I wasn't sure I was going to pick up the second issue, but I am hooked. Now, I can't be sure, but I'm pretty positive that the Flash #672, this cover, is going to be in the top 10 covers of the year. This is just a great cover. Anyway, this is the finale of the whole Eobard Thawne thing. Hopefully forever I'm done with the character. But I gotta say, if it is, then at least they really did let him go out with not really a bang, but the best possible solution. I love the way this comic ended, and if this character was never to be seen again, I would be A-okay. I am done with Eobard Thawne. So there you go, gang. Those were the reviews. Let's tally up the scores and see who won the week. Marvel Comics had comic books at positions 30, 29, 27, 25, 23, 20, 18, 14, 9, and 4 for a total score of 111. DC Comics had comic books in positions 28, 22, 19, 16, 15, 6, 8, 7, 3, and 1 for a score of 190. And Independent Comic Books had comics at positions 26, 24, 21, 17, 13, 12, 11, 10, 5, and 2 for a score of 172. So there you go, gang. DC's the big winner for the week. Now, to be completely honest, I'm a big DC fan, so maybe there's a little bit of bias in there. That being said, there's still some excellent books and a couple of crappy ones too. And I do try to be as fair as possible whenever I'm reading and reviewing. That being said, what did you think? Did I have something too high? Did I have something too low? Are you like, whoa, wait a second, that's that good? Let me pick that up. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to click like and share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure all your notifications are set to all so you don't miss any of the cool stuff we do around these parts. And also, if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Patreon or to Ko-Fi, drop $1 in the till. Helps keep the lights on, helps keep making videos for you. This is the way I'm trying to make a living. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.